Welcome, everyone. I am happy to announce there's a new clinical trial starting for ME/CFS, or myalgic encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome. And this one is using photobiomodulation, or PBM. This is using infrared light or near infrared light to change brain function. And there are several novel aspects to this clinical trial that make it quite different from typical clinical trials. And so I want to let you know about those. Now, this trial is called Signal, and it's being run by Renegade Research, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on ME/CFS and long COVID trials. It's funded by Solve ME, which is also a nonprofit that's been supporting ME/CFS research for decades. They're also driving initiatives to collect real world data, and they also push for greater funding from the US federal government. Now, there's the companies also involved that develop and test and sell the at home devices that are being used in this clinical study, and that's V-Light and Truvaga. And then there's two advisors, myself and Todd Davenport, and we're just helping however we can. So if you're interested in any of those groups I mentioned, I put the links in the video description so you can check those out. So why am I excited for a photobiomodulation clinical trial? If you follow my videos, you've heard me talk about this before. I'm chiefly interested in finding ways to impact pathological processes in the brain. And that is very hard to do because of things like the blood-brain barrier and the skull. They block most potential treatments from reaching the brain targets. But transcranial photobiomodulation, so through the skull, is the use of near-infrared light that can penetrate the skull. The scientific literature is growing quickly, but I think it's already impressive. Photobiomodulation, particularly again, targeting the brain. There's other types, but brain specific. We have evidence that it can increase ATP production, adenosine triphosphate, so it provides more energy for brain processes. It can decrease neuroinflammation, which is one of my main areas. It can help cerebral vessels, blood vessels in the brain, to transport oxygen more efficiently. It can help with glymphatic clearance of waste out of the brain, and it can increase antioxidant production, so kind of to negate the effects of toxin and cellular stress. And it might increase just general neuroplasticity, so the ability for neurons to change. So what does all that translate to? Basically, improved cognition, improved mood, and increased energy and motivation. Those are the main things that we're looking at. So pretty much the opposite of having ME/CFS or long COVID. So it's very logical to try this as a treatment for those disorders. Now, there's two aspects of this study that I like in particular. The first is that the study is remote, which means it's open to anyone in the United States. I talk about this all the time. We need to make clinical trials available to individuals who are homebound and even individuals who are bedbound. It's not fair, and it's not even scientifically valid to just treat people who are lucky enough to live right next to a major biomedical institution. So wherever possible, trials should be remote. Now, the second novel aspect is this trial is actually testing two very different treatments. The first is photobiomodulation, which I just mentioned. This is a device by V-Light called NeuroGamma, and it sends infrared light through the skull. Now, one limitation to transcranial PBM is that the light only reaches about 3 centimeters into the brain, so deeper brain structures are out of range. So V-Light uses an intranasal emitter that shines additional infrared light up to the brain as well, which gives access to more brain structures. So that's one of the treatments, but there's another one that's totally different. It uses a entirely different treatment modality, which is non-invasive vagus nerve stimulation. And it does this by sending electrical pulses through the skin to a branch of the vagus nerve. And vagus nerve stimulation is a powerful technique, but it's traditionally required implants. And so it's an invasive procedure. It's only been recently that we have good non-invasive devices that can do the same thing without having to have any implants. And one of them is the device made by Truvaga that's being tested in this trial. So again, totally different energy system, totally different modality. Now, even though this approach is totally different from photobiomodulation, the effects could be similar. Improved cognition, mood, and energy are things that we might expect after application of this treatment. I wouldn't say that they accomplish the same thing physiologically. They work in quite different ways, but they both may improve the targeted problem in different ways. So I really like that the research team is going with testing two treatments in one study. That's not commonly done, but I've done this many times before. I just completed a big clinical trial running three different treatments in one study. I think it's a very economical study design choice because it lets you use the same infrastructure to test multiple treatments simultaneously, which of course gives us information much faster than running one trial at a time. And then we can test the two against each other, the two treatments. We may find that both treatments work, or we may find that one approach is superior to the other, or we may find that they work on different symptoms or they work in different people. And these are all extra questions you can ask when you test two different treatments using the same study design and the same outcome measures. You can do a one-to-one comparison. So really great design choices. I'm not going to go over the study design specifics in this talk. There's a presentation planned by Solve ME in, I think, November 6th, and I suspect the protocol overview will be shared then. So be sure to catch that talk if you want to hear more about how the study will be conducted. The Solve ME link is also in the video description. Now, when this trial is finished, and if the results are encouraging, I will probably take an even larger role and incorporate neuroimaging to figure out how the treatments are actually working. So I have sequences for neuroinflammation, I have them for blood flow, I have them for waste clearance, I have them for brain energy supply, etc. And that information can help us determine when and why the treatments work or when and why they don't work. So, in the meantime, you are able to sign up to potentially be a participant. It's one of the links in the video description. There's a list of them. So look for the Renegade Research one. I'm guessing that the participant list will fill up very quickly because ME/CFS and long COVID are so pervasive, and because the study is open to the entire United States. I'm sure many people who want to participate won't be able to, at least in this first immediate trial. That's why I'm glad that Renegade Research seems to have a very aggressive timeline to get this done quickly so we can just move on to the next step, which may involve larger clinical trials that we can get more people in. So I just wanted to let you know about this new clinical trial. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I can't wait till we have results and we can see if this is an efficacious treatment. This is one of the many clinical trials that are going on now or starting soon. And I just want research to give solid tools to clinicians so they can combat these disorders. So that's it. This is, if you've noticed, this is the third video in my special series, which is boring yellow wall behind me because the ceiling collapsed on my office and wrecked everything. Uh, There'll probably be one more. I'm going to be in the brand new building in 3 weeks from today. So you might see this set up one more time, but then after that, I should have something much better for me and better for you. So thanks for watching, and I will probably be back in 2 weeks with the next new thing in researching fibromyalgia and ME/CFS and long COVID and Gulf and the other chronic diseases.